I want to say maybe 3-4 years ago.
Cool. Do you like to kind of walk around as a fan when you come to these things? Do you do a little shopping? Do you ever cosplay? Do you dress up? Or
I usually dress up as Bundy, and it works well for me.
You do a great job.
I've done. No one's caught me yet. No, I try to, as soon as I have like a lull at my table, which it happens. I'll usually start taking a walk around. And then, but it's always cool to meet the fans and just hear how much. Because you don't realize, like, when you're doing a show, how much it affects the fans, or how much laughter it brought to their homes, say, or with their family, until you meet the fan. Thank you. Until you meet the fans and they tell you, and so it's cool.
And you've been in the acting game for a long time. How old were you when you started? You were.
Well, my very, very, very first gig, I come from a showbiz family, so I kind of just literally fell out of the crib and into it. My first job was on a Lily Tomlin special. I was 3 months old. I was a little baby. I played her daughter.
Wow, so literally like your entire life you've been doing this.
Yeah, my entire life. And then from then, even before Married with Children, I did Fantasy Island and Love Boat, and Family Ties, and what's the one with Michael Landon, of course, Little House on the Prairie, and all that stuff. And then I auditioned for Married with Children when I was 12, and I actually didn't get the job the very first run. They shot the pilot with 2 other cast members who played Bud and Kelly, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out, lucky for us, and they held auditions again, and I decided to go. I had a new agent, they snuck me in again, and I ended up getting it.
Wow, did you ever think, getting on that show, that it would have the run that it did? It lasted a long time, people loved the show. Did you when you were on set those first few days, did you think this was this something special?
Well, I was so young, but I knew it was really funny because, like, everybody, you would hear this rumble about it being one of the funniest scripts people had read in years, and the laughter that was happening on the set. But as a kid, especially the kind of adult humor that Married with Children had, you don't really get most of the jokes. And then about the 3rd season is when we really, really, really took off, and it became like this giant. Then you couldn't even leave the house. It was kind of wild.
You directed it?
I did. No, I wrote a couple episodes, and I've directed other things, but not a Married with Children episode.
That's right. I thought because you wrote an episode with, was your brother in that episode? Was
my
that right?
brother?
Is that incorrect Wikipedia information? Right?
No. He did 2. Well, there is a piece of incorrect Wikipedia information that says I have another brother with a different last name that I've never heard of this individual, by the way. I have no idea who he is or why he's my brother. But my actual brother, Michael Faustino, was in 2 episodes. One of the episodes he played the car wash attendant. He looks we're pretty similar. And then the other episode he did was the Santa Claus episode. It was a Christmas episode where he plays one of the neighbor children, and he's sitting on Al's lap, who's playing Santa, and Al says, he asks Al for something, and he says, he goes, your mother is the woman in the neighborhood who bakes all the pies for everybody except for those nice Bundys. He says, yeah. He goes, well, someday tell Daddy to come home right around when Mr. Mailman's around. And he says, what do I get? He goes, a fresh new mommy and a brand new house, or something like that. That was pretty funny. So yeah, he did a couple episodes. He's an actor. Oh, my dad was a costumer. That's kind of how we got into the business. So it's been like a showbiz family. Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah. And I got to talk about this too, because I actually just recently revisited this show, Entourage.
Oh yeah.
Where you showed up as yourself, which is amazing. Was that a hard ask for you to be involved in that, or did you jump on that right away?
Oh no, I jumped right on it because those guys, Doug Ellen, the creator writer, he's a great guy, and I knew Doug, and obviously it was a hot show, HBO, and I jumped right on it. I got to do a couple episodes, and then I got to be in the film, which was awesome. And so they've been really loyal, and just a great group of guys, especially Kevin, both Kevins, just great guys. I've known Kevin Connolly. He did a show that Ron Levitt, who created Married with Children, he created another show called Unhappily Ever After, which Kevin starred in. People either loved or hated that show. It was basically, as Ron Levitt said, he said, well, it's this thing, he would compare it to Married with Children. He'd say, same show, we just have a puppet. So, but Kevin's starting that show, and he's a great guy, so it was fun to do.
And of course, you've done a lot of other things besides the acting on screen stuff. A lot of writing as well, and which is what you're currently doing, right? You're still doing a lot of writing.
Yeah. Well, I created a show called Starving for Crackle a few years back that I created, produced, directed along with my partners. And then right now I'm writing a half-hour pilot that I just finished writing, which I'm really happy about, excited about. We're taking it out now. So I just stay creative in that way. And then, as you mentioned, I think the voiceover stuff is what really keeps me busy right now. Has been voiceover. It's been a tremendous second career for me. I've been really blessed and lucky to have that over the last 15, 20 years. And it's a great gig. I used to miss the sort of glitz and glamour of being on set, which I still enjoy, and all of that. But after having a child and settling down, when you compare a 14-hour day on set to a hour to 2-hour recording session down the street from your house, it doesn't compare. So I'm really starting to appreciate it for what it is now.
So how do you go into doing a voice acting or a voiceover role? How do you prepare? How does that differ from what you do on screen?
I won't lie, it's easier. I'm not gonna try to BS. It's easier. However, that said, you still have to put the exact same amount of you have to fully 1,000% go for it, but you're not on screen, so you can act a little more, and also you don't have to memorize really. So I'll get really familiar with it, but it's a lot easier. But the way I prepare is almost like I would prepare for an acting job. I try to give it 1,000% and really commit and go for it. Yeah.
Now I know we have a lot of fans here that many of you have questions, so we'll get to your audience questions in a little bit. So if you don't have one, you can start thinking right now. But before we get there, I want to